Hello, humans, peoples, and others. Welcome, I guess. Well, let's get started now. I've already gotten everything set up, if you can tell, which is just great. So, we're continuing the honor mode run I started a while ago, like a month or two ago. I believe the goal right now is let's go get Karlak. Well, I don't really care about talking to Kaga. Let's go talk to Arabella's parents. What class am I? I'm a bard. I think the plan is, yep, Swords Bard. Oh, I have my favorite spell. Knowles? I was very close to turning on my model. I didn't. I hope we meet again under better circumstances. Oh, look at that. It's not great. It's going to be better in Act 2, but... I believe I can out-trick this dork before they run away with my coin. You're thinking of Lothsworn. Should you see a pair of red eyes, run. One moment. Would I like to see something fun? Always. How'd you do that? Okay, good. I do have someone with guidance. Behold! I'm a slightly better trickster. I'm gonna say tails. She stole my stuff. What's inside it? Oh yeah, that's gonna be an easy roll. I am going to use inspiration. Because what are the chances of that? But they did? Well, I guess they didn't. You know, maybe they should have been a little better at being a thief. Your partner's a thief. You can make it right. Give me a percentage. Yeah. It's because I actually streamed on time. I got to streaming about when I usually would want to. You could at least pretend to be sorry. I mean, she has a point. We're gonna go help the kid with the sirens. I do have the spell slots for this, right? I do indeed. We'll do this normally, like normal people, I guess. They better not have gotten the kid already. I did take a long rest after finding this place. :3. Hello, how's it going? I'm existing, that's for sure. Trying not to die horribly to sirens right now, I guess. But, yeah. Well, we gotta try. Any good bard would at least try. Well, let's use context clues. You are standing in the water. Interesting. That's the one singing. They aren't wearing metal, unfortunately. I only have one hand crossbow and a short sword. And it's still worth a slashing flourish. Apparently not from here. We need to move in a little more. Slashing flourish. Yeah, I want to interrupt him. Of course I miss. This fight I'm kind of worried about. Because of that. Hopefully Gale can do his thing. Or not Gale, Will. That's the plan. I should have that on Ask. I do want to try to respec Shadowheart. Always ask on everything. Because you never know. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. I'm blind. :3. What in the ever is it saying is new? Oh, probably mirror image. What in the ever? Okay then. Oh no, we need to interrupt the bard, or the song. And I miss. Will, you are the chosen one. You are the meant to save us from this agony. Do I have anything? Oh, I do. I have this. Get back up. Do I have an offhand weapon? I do, and it doesn't matter. Can I reach? No, it will not reach. Chances are above average. Ha. Ha. This is why we like bards. And this is why we dislike sirens. Obviously. It's just nice to have it on ask. Okay. Well, first things first. You don't have any... Can I... Take Gale... Drink... And he just kind of has to stand there. Look pretty, all that. You're the one singing. 50% or 50%. Shadowheart, you are kind of useless. I guess we'll end up taking a rest after this. Please hit. Good job. Okay. These two here are an issue. Okay, I only get one blast. That's boring. I can do up to 36 damage. Yeah, we'll just blast that one into oblivion. And then go and flourish the other one. Miss. Isn't this going so well? The bard gets lured. How sad. This is why you don't dump wisdom. This is really why you shouldn't be dumping wisdom. Oh, they really did not like me. What did I do to offend them so much? This should have nothing to do with the mockery, right? Yeah, that sounds about right. Existing apparently is just an insult to them. Do I have anything that can help me in this scenario? You're not wrong. I have better builds ready anyways, so... But playing a Drow Bard is like the best for the beginning, story-wise, because it just means I can walk into the Absolute camp without anyone questioning. And I can walk in here without anyone questioning me, because I'm a Bard. 17, 20... Let us do that. Problem number 1 solved. Let's kill the singer. Problem number 2 solved. Yeah, well, Eldritch Blast. What's stopping me, huh? Oh, I'm only allowed 1 per short rest. Flee! Flee, small child. Well, first off, rude. Okay, that's also quite rude. I was using that. Shadowheart, please hit, or else... Thank you. You can at least do something right. If I end up losing, I may just make a warlock. Revive right there. It doesn't matter if we're in the middle of a fight. They literally only have 1 HP left. Yeah, I'm the protector of the small or whatever. The small protected, kinda, vaguely, mostly. I sure hope so. I'm your worst nightmare, sorry. Oh. It's because I'm in, a very odd time zone. I'm in, Mountain Standard Time, so, like, we're right in the middle of the US. Which is very funny, because that means I get to experience being just too late for Eastern Standard Time and just too early for Pacific Standard. Met with a lot of harpies, did you? Or, yes, I can imagine you as a handful. How did you summon a thing? You're an illusionist. Such as... I guess, fun fact, this style of harpy is more like that of the style of harpy or of the style of sirens in Greek mythology. Most sirens, not all sirens. Some Greek mythology sirens are the fish people we know. But for the most part, that is more what harpies look like. And it gets even more interesting when you learn what actual Greek mythology harpies are. Not only were they birds, they were literally just like full on like birds with only a woman's face. Which is very, very funny to me. Well, I found the gold. Never been in this area before. Oh, I haven't talked to Talifira yet. Target too far. Are you stronger, Will? No, in fact, you are weaker. Shadowheart. Okay, we'll read that. We'll read that. Yay, bones. We like those. I'm sorry. I've agreed to a couple jobs in Icewind Dale. They paid me up front because, gods, it's so strange to write. Because they needed a warlock, they needed me. I took the deal the Cambion offered. I was not going to say I had no choice, because that would be a lie, but I don't regret it. It's so weird to hear Cambions giving deals, given what a Cambion is. Well, back to the other side, because there's more loot on the other side as well. We're going to short rest. Look at those liars capable of doing that jump despite the fact that it said they couldn't do that jump. Behold. For the most part, this area is pretty much how it was in the early access, from what I remember. So that's pretty neat. I cast bird. Can we make the jumps? Yes, we can. And we found the loot. Behold! A light crossbow, that's useless. I would rather a hand crossbow. Let's go to the grove. You know what? I have a meme which I could post in the Discord because I find it kind of funny, but I won't. I could also put it up if I really tried hard enough, but that would take me tabbing out and I don't want to do that either. Fine, I'll go post it in the Discord at least. It's Greek mythology related. Here. You know, that's because No. The Discord's mostly dead, mostly because I barely even use it. And I could easily post announcements for when I post or when I stream, but that would take me actually doing stuff, which scares me. I am the only one in need because the rest of you are barely real. That's kind of rude to say, but it's not entirely false. Do you have any hand crossbows? Okay, so I have a really funny build from a character I made a long time ago. His name was Doragman. He was a wild mage, wild magic barbarian for this game. His whole thing was throwing stuff. That ring would be perfect for him. It would be nice to grab those eventually. I mean, I have so many memes I could post in the Discord. Technically, I could post all the memes I get for videos in there. You must outsmart and outmaneuver. Your greatest weapon is your cunning. A is for Azuth and the other gods. Number 6, I can read. Hello, Zoru. I don't actually care about what Lae'zel has to say, so I'll talk to you here now. Never mind, I need Lae'zel for that. Let's talk to Auntie Ethel. Let her fuss over me. Wow. Wait. My game hates Auntie Ethel. I crashed. Give me a moment to reopen Baldur's Gate. Indeed. I mean, now could be the time we could swap games, but you know. How dare Auntie Ethel? She reached through the Feywild and thwacked me. It's probably because I refused to uninstall and reinstall Baldur's Gate, even though my files are still altered from when you had to, pretty much from when before they put in patch 6 or whatever, where they let you do the modding just straight through the game. So my files are altered for mods. For now, this playthrough is unmodded. You know what? I can't even cast Fireball. I'm a bard. But I am keeping a couple people in the party who can. Is it visible now? You guys are seeing it open. I have so many mods installed, I should probably uninstall a couple of those. Also, welcome. Hello, how's it going? I cast Fireball. I also cast Bird. It's open. The game's working. Continue. We ignore the fact that this is in fact an honor mode run. For the most part. Until it actually matters. Have I rescued Withers yet? If not, we need to go answer the question of what is the worth of a single mortal's life. There are some really funny answers to that you can give, and he has an obviously correct one. Like, one that he will... While he remains... While what he says remains neutral, how he says it makes you think, yeah, he thinks that's the right answer as well. Is this pre or post Harpy slaughter? It is pre. Maybe I'll not crit miss every Elder hit. Sounds certainly like an event to happen. I don't know what I can say about that. Good luck, I suppose. I don't know. Gale, don't die instantly this time. Same goes to this poor bard right here. You know what? While that is fair, he kinda... Depending on the version of the Odyssey, he kinda deserved it. But also, if I remember correctly, in the actual Odyssey, it's like, he's heard prophecies where it's like, if he and Odysseus like team up, they will together become great heroes and all that. And Odysseus is like, "Oh no, I'm nobody. I'm not Odysseus." And stabs him in the eye anyways. So Odysseus is just kind of a jerk if you listen to that. I mean, it's fine. He only stabbed him in one eye. It was only a single eye. Yeah, it's totally fine. Okay, so I can hit both. How much do we really like Shadowheart? I mean, that's actually a really funny idea for a monster. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna steal that, and they're just slowly gonna grow eyes until they end up like the one creature who has 100 eyes and he keeps half of them closed because he's sleeping with half his body at a time. Hermes killed that one. In such a funny way. I believe in whacking people with a mace. That is in fact the best strategy if you didn't know. Come on, coward, get back down here. Don't make me send Will up at you. Well, that's kind of rude. Banishment. Oh, they saved. Healing potion. You know what? Any weapon into a person's face is... or into an enemy's face makes it a good weapon. It just so happens Shadowheart only has a mace, though. Shadowheart, you're useless. And now you're dead. How are these guys' resistances? They don't have any resistances. Good. It would be really funny if I lost this time. I blame Aunt Ethel. I blame Auntie Ethel for this. Um, 11, 8. $31. Oh, this one's the singular. Well then, let's see how you like it. They better not just start singing again and lure everyone back or down. I think though we've lost this time. Which is kind of funny. Auntie Ethel just decided, yeah, we don't actually get to win. See? End campaign. I don't really care. We'll make a new character. I could make Joel Ragman. I could also just make the ultimate fireball caster. I think we'll do that. We're going to make a fire mage. Exactly. Just gotta give him as many fire-based spells as possible. Honor. Start game. This shan't take long. I'm trying to think. We're going to start Sorcerer. Because we're going to make some weird archaic version of a Sorlock. I'm thinking. Just so I get more spell slots for Fireball. Or I could do an Evocation Wizard, but I think doing Sorcerer so I can do maximize spells is going to be the funniest option. We're doing the Ultimate Fire Mage, so I have to be a Tiefling to get the Produce Flame Cantrip. Sorcerer. I can't resist the power of a Spellblade. I just can't. Actually, I may just go with these two for now because, yeah. Yeah, Draconic, we want Fire. Or what does Gold give? Boring. We are a folk hero. I don't know what to do here. There. Hair? Let's find out. Sure, that works. Horns. Those ones because I say so. I think that works for now, I'm not really caring. That dex is abysmal. What shall our soon-to-be famed pyromancer be called? I could name them after the Ascendant of Fire in my world. That could be interesting. Fine. There. You get some really funny guardians if you just spam random. Like that. But I think the funniest guardian to do is if you go to Forest Gnome, just look at that guy. Look at the default gnome guardian. I think that's just kind of funny. Do we want to watch the octopus person? No. You see, that's fair. And they're evil. Except there's actually a really cool thing I saw where potentially Mind Flayers are just humans in the far, far future. Or Githyanki were humans in the far, far future, and so the ones we have now came back to the... or went back in time to try to start the Illithid Empire before the Illithid Empire started. Look, this character is going to be chaotic neutral, probably. It does, but it's like... I don't remember where it is, but technically it's almost part of official D&D lore. Which is weird, but you know. Ah yeah, Firebolt Scroll. Like we'll be needing that. 1d8 fire damage, 1d10 fire damage, 3d6 fire damage. 2d8 fire damage. Yoink. I don't like Githyanki. They're just frog people. They're not even the cool frog people. They're just boring. Oh yeah, we have to do that. We have to do this. Since we're in the tutorial, I can cast as many fire spells on things as I want. Do I have proficiency in any weapons? Useless. I don't care about the Illithid records. How lucky can we be? Let us find out. I only have a +1 and I need to succeed a DC 10 saving throw. Okay, after roll a 9 or above, that works. Spare the creature any injury might hurt it. It was very smooth for a second, but you know, we don't judge us for being the way he is. We had to dry us out a little bit. Oh, that is an abysmal amount of HP. How am I gonna survive with only 9 HP? What made you think I was a thrall? Because you're a useless Githyanki. It'll remain tame because it's my best friend. Look at that imp. Okay, so Baldur's Gate 3 won't show it, but imps on paper could easily be one of the most powerful low CR creatures ever. Because they are immune to poison and immune to fire, which is two of the most common types of magic damage. And they have a flying speed. And they can cast Firebolt at will. So, overall, don't mess with your local Githyanki, or your local imps. Or do, because it's fun. These ones are, unfortunately, for them at least, not resistant to either of those damage types. We'll just hope I deal enough damage. Incinerated Mind Flayer. Any void bulbs? Nope. Boring. No survivors. That was imperative in our escape of the Mind Flayer ship, if you couldn't tell. So is looting all these bodies. It's imperative that I do. How do you manage to not be proficient in a short sword? Look, even I, in real life, know how to use a short sword. So how in the world does this trained adventurer we like aggression? Because one main purpose. That's fair, I guess. It is a new type of skill to not know anything about how to use the weapons your friends around you are using. Making these cultists is always aggressive is always a great idea. Because they give XP. Or yonking a sprain. I unfortunately don't really own any swords, but I do want to buy one. But I've gone to many, like, LARPing, or I've gone to some LARPing events and learned how to use swords there. We're taking this mind as well. This chest has one purpose and only one purpose. That chest's purpose is to store any and all modded items. Like the cheater's ring. I guess it's a cheater spell scroll now. Place hand on console. That really depends. Because overall, I'm going to have to say I like arming swords. Arming swords are great. But I like halberds and poleaxes. Because they can just be so versatile. And used in almost any scenario. And you know, if you're strong enough and you're not suffering via skill issue, you can throw it. Anything's a ranged weapon if you try hard enough. They are very neat. I'm getting out of here. Follow me. Alright, then I'm Tadran. Come on, let's go. We are going to pull a funny. You don't need Shield of Faith. Shield of Faith's useless. What about you? What's your favorite weapon? If you don't suffer from a skill issue, you can, in fact, turn a mace into a ranged weapon. I'm not listening to a frog. You know, it's so sad that this game somehow manages to do polymorph worse than the first two games. I'm going to take Great Weapon Master and put 2 levels in Fighter or something, just so I can learn to use that great sword. Because I think it's only fitting for this very fire-based character to use a fire sword. I'm not listening to a squid person until I get that fire sword. Uh, 10 damage, that should be enough. Good job, us. Huh, Shadowheart, what are you going to do? I wonder. I should have advantage, they're stunned, so... Kinda rude that I don't, but you know. I mean, that's fair. Halberds are just that cool. Whoopsie, I meant to equip the sword. Well, too late. Of course, you always have to appreciate a good old sword. But you know. To quote Animal Farm or paraphrase it, not the dorky movie, but the book. So all weapons are created equal. Some weapons are just more equal than others. I've not seen the dorky movie. I think we are just going to firebolt the imp. Behold! We'll just firebolt the imp. I have not seen the movie, and all I know is that people so far just hate it. So... I mean, I can guarantee it's not going to be the worst book-to-movie adaptation, though. That title always will go to the Inheritance series, or Aragon. Yeah. Oh, one of the major controversies I saw, which I found oh so funny given that it is in fact the opposite is in fact the core of the book. The controversy I saw was that it's anti-capitalist. Which I just couldn't help but laugh at. You know, the book that was written to be a satire of the Soviet Union is anti-capitalist. The book, who is centered around the major problem being a figure that who is pretty much just exactly Stalin. Yeah, imagine being the one. Yeah. think it's really funny because, well, so I have some issues with the actual book itself as well, like, specifically issues with, like, the Raven. The fact that they keep referring to the Raven as a tame Raven, I have issues with in the actual book. Because calling it a tame Raven implies that your Raven is tamed. Which, you know, is really hard to do with something completely sapient like a Raven. But, you know, that's fine. Because I read it recently, so I can't exactly directly quote, but I remember some parts of it. There's one specific part that I found kind of funny. And so I guess this aligns with a really fun fact involving most animals. For the most part, most animals can't sweat. Sweating is mostly just a human thing. So there's this one line in the book about Boxer. And it involves the fact that his fur gets matted together because of how much he's sweating while doing this. I hope you can see the issue. There are just sometimes some things where you can just tell poor George Orwell did not really know a horrible amount of the actual animals. Yeah, kinda, but it's like for some of it I can excuse because it is meant to be a fable, a fairy tale. Just a warning. But it's also really funny to see which animals he considers the smartest and which ones he considers kinda dumb. That's fair, I need to read 1984, but I haven't gotten to it yet. Oh no, I'm falling to my death. Oh no, I got caught by something. That would not be a very, very pleasant position to land in horns first. That, in fact, would probably be very painful. Here it is. Head first in general, yeah, but specifically, like, into the sand, horns first, would not be pleasant, even if you survive. Yay, nothing is injured. Though I gotta say, having us get caught like that with just like psychically right before we land, that would still hurt pretty badly. Cause that's just all of a sudden all of the force of your fall just stopping instantly still. Wake her. What's a physics? Doesn't matter, we made it. Look, I guess I am making the most pyromancer of all pyromancers. Why do I need logic? What happened to our gift friend? Now what? You want to stay together? Alright, let's get moving. The logic goes into the fact that I can take fall damage. And there does come a point in D&D where fall damage is capped out. I believe it's 8d6 damage. You once again take the logic away when you get to things that are immune to non-magic damage. A werewolf cannot take fall damage unless it lands on silver or something magical, because they are immune to non-magic blunt damage. Loot the backpack, we don't need to read the book. Settlers somewhere nearby. What do we think about there being potential settlers nearby? Let's ask Dead Fisher number 3 where he thinks there are dead settlers. Yeah. Actually, there's a very interesting potential fact about vampires and werewolves and why they're weak to the certain things they're weak to. You know what? They're so nice I don't even have to exchange words with them. I haven't found the wizard hat yet. I'd rather not fight these things yet. They have just been giving me gifts. I think that one's the one with the wizard hat. Oh, I gained a level. I should probably do that first. We're gonna start with Shadowheart, even though we're going to respec her as soon as I can. Because Trickery Domain Cleric is the worst of them all. Like, who taught her how to be a cleric? I could do a really funny thing. If I did create destroy water, I could create water specifically on the enemies, get them wet, and then Shocking Grasp them. Because I do have Shocking Grasp. I had a really funny idea, actually. When we respec her, she's going to become a Tempest Cleric and a Sorcerer, a Storm Sorcerer. And then we'll pick up the spell Fireball, of which eventually you can learn how to change the element of to lightning damage, and Tempest Clerics have an ability which make it so you don't roll for how much lightning damage you do, you just deal max damage. Okay, spell-wise, Shield's a great option here. Yeah, Shield. Okay. There. Boring, distant, extend. We're gonna do careful, just so I don't vaporize half my team. My book, um, the when was it? August, beginning August was when I started writing it because I physically have it written, not um typed out yet. So I still need to type it out. So that'll be fun. We're gonna go grab Astarion and Gale before I go. I can go over here. Is there anything neat? There is. Of course, we need to go talk to Miss Lazelle. So I'm hoping it won't take much longer. Because it should be obvious by now, it's set in the same world as all my other stuff. We're gonna grab Gale, I guess, and then Lazelle. We're banishing Gale, but so all I need to do is type it out, which will take a couple of days if I actually tried. Because I'm also going to be editing it at the same time. Then I need to edit it and get like cover art for it. And then I can either try to self-publish it or look for a publisher. So that'll be fun. 18, yay! And then obviously I'm gonna be using a pen name, cause yeah. Yes, I was. I could have phrased it more repellently myself. Oh, and then I've also started another book because I can't just have one project, apparently. This one's much funner for me because it's about a couple beings who I've already probably established I really like to talk about. I don't remember if I have mentioned which pen name I'd use. I maybe use the one well, technically I use Malekek just because at this point that's just the name I go by now. But did I say I'd use Averu Stayhold? Sounds like a plan. You're welcome to join me. Yeah, the reason for that is because I do this thing where I like to write from the perspectives of different characters. So you might notice if you watched the Tales of the Tavern video I posted, because there's only one, so it's not really a pattern that you can see, but yeah. So in the one where I talk about the Witch Queen, aka Averu Stayhold, I probably mentioned it. So the reason why I'd be using that character's name as a pen name is because for the most part, for my world, she is technically the one writing the stories, lore-wise. So it's just a nifty little thing where it's like, well, yeah. I don't think I'd need to explain much more for that. Obviously get shield, blade-singing weapon. You're going to use a scimitar. Magic missile. Can you not learn burn? Oh, you can, but eh. That works. It's very interesting. I have a lot of lore about the Witch Queen as well, so... yeah. You know what, that's it. Fireball. I need to go get my fire sword. Gale, do you have an ice spell? Yes, you do. Okay, Gale. Do your thing. Forge our path. You know what, 3 people should be enough for the door key. For the brain bugs. I am not messing with that. There we go. Well, yeah, it's 'cause she is just cool. And if I were to go to any like public events, like anything, I'd probably go either in like full cosplay as either her or Elistara, the Blade of Freedom. Because, you know, they're just both so cool. Well, first off, it was very rude of them to give these intellect devourers ranged attacks. Second off, it won't stop me. I just realized exactly what's about to happen. Get ready to just hear a ton of Ignis. Yeah, that's fair. I'm trying to think if there are any other particularly interesting ones right now. I've started working on the Ascendant of Magic, so he's cool. He's also the most... the title of Ascendant of Magic has the most holders. For reasons that will become obvious if I make a video on them. Or that I could just say. I don't want to cast any spells. Don't make me cast spells. I'm gonna cast a spell. I've just decided right here and right now. We're gonna move this way a little. Shadowheart has enough HP for this. I fight well after I blasted her point blank with a fire spell. Of course I am. Look, I'm a better spellcaster than he is. Fireball, in fact, does go burr. I need a button that just makes an explosion sound that I can press. I want to get my fire sword, so we're gonna go talk to and save Lae'zel. That'd be funny, and also Fireball. Favorite character? That depends on for what. In general, it's either. It also depends on which timeline, which is the thing I'd have to explain, but that's going to take a whole other lore video to fully explain. I could say that I'm going to have to say either Elistara or the Shark Sage, though. Coward. Just burn it. To quote hit character from Balloons Tower Defense 6, with enough fuel in the air, everything burns. Short rest. I guess, what about you? What's your favorite, from the ones you probably maybe know of so far? Am I proficient? Yeah, I have a +3 in charisma. It was enough. A blast, I could use more specifics. Yeah, and he does have a canonical name, he just doesn't remember it. He is a very cool character. And I've started describing him in the way of... Yeah, I've started describing him as, he is just, but he is more fair than just. Which is very important if you can know the difference. He is very old. He's tried his best. Tiefling, you're clearly no friend of tieflings. What exactly? A simple thank you couldn't go amiss. But pretty much, he is just in that he will follow the letter of the law, which he made. But he's also fair, where if someone breaks the law, but they have a really good reason, he'll pardon them. What's a half-elf? Do you still have my sword? You do in fact still have my sword. Give that back. I'm banishing you back to camp. Koski. Oh yeah, I believe next up is going to be... Well, obviously it's a lore video, so... So, next one is lore video on the language of my world so far. Yeah, that. One of my favorite words I have is a skrik, which is used most commonly in my books. And is very versatile. And, oh yeah, I had a really funny idea. Oh, skrik, it's a word akin to something like it's useless or it's like nothing. I'll type it out in chat. There, skrik. Easily stand back. So, I had a really funny idea where if I do have Elistara in any of my books, they'll have the very funny thing of if they're translated in a book where you have differences between like formal speaking and not informal speaking. Elistara would only be speaking informally. So like in Japanese, she'd only speak using informal language. Which, you know, makes sense for freedom. It would almost go in the reverse for the Divine King. He'd only be speaking informal language. Glad to see we're all caught up now. Tell him name and story. Yes, unfortunately they'll turn us into mind flayers. Those skrik and skrik of monsters. Oh yeah, the word is technically meant to be a direct substitute for an English word, so if you can guess that, that would be pretty impressive. Or guess which one it is, that would be pretty impressive. Travel with me, our odds are better together. I don't know. Which part? I said a lot of things. Look at that boar. Hello. How's it going? What's inside door number 1? Astarion? I cast bird. You know what they say. You know, I do actually just have a literal Google Doc I've been filling with all my lore. Astarion, do your job. Lock the pick, or pick the locks. What do you guys think? Him with his +7 bonus to dexterity. Can he pick the lock? But now, if you can guess what skrik means, like in like which word it technically substitutes if I speak English and use it. Good on you as well. That's all I can really give for that. I'm trying to think of any good hints. Let me look at the doc. Retry. Allow me to see the file, please. I don't want to tab out on my computer. Apparently, no, I cannot give you an example. I'll tab out on my computer, I guess. Let's see. KT Earth, that's the name of the world. They don't know that because they live in the world. Where is it? It's one of my first ones. Oh, there's also Zrek. Okay, so apparently I've been using it correct. I had it as a translation for the wrong word though. But I was using it correct, so it doesn't matter. You could say it's like, that person's a skrikin loser. Or skrik them. It is a very nice word. It's quick. Oh yeah, a ton of the words are canonically Elvish in my world, and so they're Elvish, but now they're used in common. This is one of those words. Let's see, another one you have is Keshlar. Don't crash. I'm watching you. You guys ready for goblins? Because we got goblins. Are the goblins ready for us? I think is the better question. Look at them all. Gonna tab out, make sure I actually did stuff correctly. I did. Okay, good. Why am I being messaged on Discord? Give me a moment. Where is the druid? I'll probably explain what it means in the video. Oh, the other one that I find really nice and is really commonly used is Zrek. Which is the one that means nothing or nothingness. It is worthless. So you'd say, that is worth Zrek. This one is just very... It's much simpler than skrik. This is also making me realize I'm gonna have to actually probably have them typed out in my video when I do that. Which, you know, I should probably be doing anyways, but... pish posh. What's behind door number 1? What's inside goblin number 1? Both of these words, skrik and zrek, are substitutes. You could say it like that, or you could call it, you could just call it zrek. So, saying it is worth as much as zrek is saying it's worth as much as nothing. Or just something really poor. So it's like something of a low quality. Oh, they immediately killed my pyromancer. We got a sword to dance. How much movement do we have? Of 12 meters? Which means I can move 9. Can I hit both? Yes, I can. Oh, you can also say something's like... You can also call something a piece of zrek, which... means it's something that is of no worth again. And that is why we like magic. Yeah, we're gonna land right down there. Oh, that cancels the song? Interesting. I never knew how they did Blade's song, so it's nice to know. I want him on my team, so I'm probably gonna replace him with Gale. Or replace Gale with him. I suppose I could do a Tales of the Tavern, which is... Pretty much, yeah. There's also an English word of which you would pretty much put in very similar circumstances. But, that is pretty much exactly where you'd want to use it. I don't really care if they hit. Let's see. I could read this other, for Tales of the Tavern, because I haven't done that in a long, long time. I could, read this one, which is one of the adventures of Elistara. So one of her adventures into another universe, because that's one of her powers. I don't know if I talked about that in a lore video. So this is like a full-on 32-page story that I wrote. So it's a novella. I would definitely not read it all as one video. It would be like 4. Because I think that's how many acts it has. Would Aridin care if I went over there and thunderwaved him? If I go here, how much HP do you have, Aridin? You'll live. See, he lived. He's fine. Always remember. I don't know. What's a really interesting linguistic thing I know? The hit language from South Africa, Afrikaans, is like, it's Dutch, English, Dutch, and whatever native African language is there. Let's just say the Dutch had a great time giving them their language. Oh, I need to... There's a really powerful thing you can do with rogues just by doing one thing to a setting. So if I go over here... Reactions. If you have them ask on sneak attacks, you can sneak attack literally whenever. Now, why would you ever assume something bad happened? Look. The Dutch made a few blunders, but overall they did just fine. At least they didn't do what the Belgians did. At least they didn't do what the Belgians did. Is it worth a spell slot here? Who's right there? Will? Do you think Will would mind? You know, sometimes you make a mistake here or there, and you accidentally decide to racially segregate everyone. I suppose it just kind of happens when you're in the midst of colonializing. I guess. Oh, that reminds me of an interesting thing. I think this is just more for the thing of maybe don't racially segregate. Netherlands is actually so cool. I went there in the summer. I have pictures from there. Which is actually really funny because what happened was I posted my first video and then went to Europe so I couldn't post any other videos. Like the week after. So... if you look, that's why there's a huge time gap between my first and second videos. How much do we like this goblin? But you just don't be the Belgians. Netherlands was great. I rode in one of the ships that go through the canals. I saw the Dutch king. Because when we went, they were opening a new art museum there. And so he was just walking in and out of the building a lot, so we saw him as we passed. And then immediately, because we spent 2 days in the Netherlands, 2 days in. I'm trying to remember the order. Oh, no, a day in Belgium, 2 days in France, and 2 days in London. So it was also my first time in Texas because we had a layover into Texas. I have to say, Texan airports are not great. So yeah, but yeah, I casually met the. Well, I didn't meet the king. I saw him though. It's really. I found it real interesting that they have the king still. I got to see the Louvre. It was kind of boring. I didn't really care for it. Controversial opinion. And all that. Look, it's not my fault he was walking into an art museum. I almost bought myself a pair of clogs while in uh, the Netherlands though. Except they cost like 40 euros, so I didn't. I think like the week before. So I did get to see the crown jewels. They aren't really much. So I saw the crown jewels, and so it was probably the week before. I saw the Mona Lisa, didn't bother taking a picture because it's boring in there. I was more interested in Greek statues anyways. Where there's one goblin, there's 10. Druids, the goblins didn't take any prisoners. I have a +2, plus guidance. Okay, persuasion proficiency, we'll take that. I actually find the story on how they stole the gems really, really funny. But, we also went to Versailles. Versailles was awesome. When in London, we saw Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle. I preferred the castle. But that's just because I'm a nerd. But in one of my videos, I have a picture of one of the flags I bought in London. And then I have a cool pen with a crown on it that I bought in Windsor. So that's fun. Oh yeah, and then social anxiety got me in Belgium. I got a nice waffle. That's fair. Netherlands is so cool. Oh yeah. I went to Rotterdam. Was it Rotterdam? I went to a place where they have a ton of the windmills. I don't think it was actually Rotterdam, but um um so I have a ton of pictures from inside one of the windmills there. It's awesome. Cause you know. I also learned the really fun fact, which makes certain phrases done by certain politicians really funny. Every windmill in the world is in it is in the Netherlands. Because at some point we started everyone in the world started decommissioning windmills, and so they just kind of picked up the important ones and moved them over to the Netherlands. So when certain politicians go all off on how windmills are destroying everything, I just find it so funny because it's like, what are the total of 17 windmills doing to destroy everything? All 17 of them, all in the Netherlands, are destroying and ruining everything. They did just yoink them. Oh, I also went to the British Museum. It was full of some really interesting stuff, including a 3,000-year-old corpse. Spell Thief is interesting. Do I want Spell Thief? Well, you know, they fished it out of a bog, so I guess they deserve it. And really, no one was using it, so what's the harm? No one that we know of was using it, at least. We do want this one. Trying to think. Yay, rolling. Their kin? Have you forgotten Elturel? We should stand by our people. No one else will. Actually, it is. I just altered history. This is now Elturel. Technically, we're also still in the kingdom of Elturel. Cause, yeah. Gotta love it when your capital city is brought into hell. I'm taking your guardian. He's mine. Good advice. You to do well to listen. Okay, so he says something here, and we can put my Latin skills to the test here. Except they're technically right in how they translate it. That word, or that phrase. Okay, so, this is very interesting. Because they do translate it correctly, they call him devil's advocate. Technically, the word just means the advocate of the devil. That's all. Translate, yeah, you know what? Yeah. So they get it correct. But also, you'd want to call it Advocata Diaboli, because Karlach's a woman, obviously. So, Advocatus is the male version of it, so Advocata Diaboli. Yeah, technically, I'm trying to think, Diaboli, is it? Yeah, I think it's, because that's neutral. And if they wanted to do the advocate as a gender neutral thing, it would be Advocatum. What can't I do? I can't speak Japanese yet. Or Russian. I can speak a little Welsh though, so that's not going to go anywhere. I can also say the second longest town name because of that. Let's join forces. Gale could do with a rest. I am very American. I just thought learning Welsh would be kind of a fun thing to do. Not only am I very American, I'm in most literally the I am in one of the states ever, that is for sure to say. But also, Welsh is like such a cool language. Bad news, children, you're all going to die. Be strong, watch over your kin. There's trust in victory. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any phrases I can say. I can still say the world's second longest town name in the world, though. Then I don't have to actually sit there and think. Interesting technique, having some trouble? Try hitting the target next time. We're gonna level up Will. Maybe he can do better. Why would he not know Hellish Rebuke? Obviously Agonizing Blast, and obviously Repelling Blast. They don't have, the Grasp one? That's boring. Well, my state has has the title it's given itself, and then the title given to everyone else, or by everyone else. The title given by everyone else, if I said it, would just give it away immediately, which is kind of funny. See, I saved before talking to Auntie Ethel. I also did literally say which state I'm from in a video, which is really weird. My state is very, very weird. I can say they were filled by one of what Abraham Lincoln considered public enemy number one. Because Abraham Lincoln had two enemies. And the most commonly known one is slavery. Look at that bear. I have no idea when an ad's running, so... give any more hints. There is a dinosaur that has this state's name, of which was only made the state dinosaur in like 2020. Why? What's so special down there? I'm not looking for trouble, just let me by. Oh, let's just say if certain things don't happen, there's a bed of arsenic under this really other very important landmark. So if this important landmark were to vanish because of heat, it would, how to put it? I like Vola. If they were, if this important landmark thing were to disappear, this bed of arsenic would enter the atmosphere, and because of what is around the state, it forms like a perfect bowl, so I'd be doomed if that happens. Be careful, goblins aren't known for their mercy. That's fair. It is within the Rocky Mountain region. That's where Mountain Standard Time is. Each chapter of the book describes cultural origins of different mythological beasts. Chapter 5, Miniature Giant Space Hamster. Very little is known about this particular cryptid, though stories say they tend to choose well-muscled old human males as their steeds when they deign to visit this plane. According to legends, this creature retains a wellspring of indescribable power only known to itself, though it provides its steed with perhaps mystical, perhaps mundane courage. Unsubstantiated rumors claim the creature has a taste for human eyes. And you would be correct in that guess. And the title of our state is obviously the Mormon capital of the world. That's not a great thing. Yeah, Utah Raptor is actually really interesting. But alas. I'm trying to think of anything. It is definitely one of the biggest raptors. It's pretty awesome too. Yay! Oh, I guess interesting fact about the Mormons is they have up in around the capital a giant building of which is an institution for language learning, of which they can teach to fluency a language in like 2 to 4 weeks. Tiefling nature. Release her. I'll see that she stays out of trouble. Do I have disadvantage because I'm a tiefling? No. That ain't good. Poke. Fine. I'm trying to think. Fireball. Oh yeah, I have the honey raptor I need to talk about on a video. How badly does that hurt? Turn Thunder matters. I'm looting the liquor chest, or the wicker chest. Oh, I couldn't either. I am by no means a Mormon. Though it's also really weird, they've been recently they've been trying to change their name. I'm so glad nobody's acknowledged it. But they're now trying to go by the LDS Church, or I'm trying to remember, Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints, I believe. And the only difference is one actively wants to be called Mormon and the other one is trying to move away from that. Is there anything I can do to help? More Latin I can translate. Vis medicatrix. I guess that's just force medicate. Yay, we like force medicate. Force medicine. Healing. Looks like I came to the right person. Oh, that reminds me. I was going to tell the story on what happened in Belgium. While I was trying to get a famed Belgium waffle. Let's just say social anxiety got to me. I was asked a question in French. I do not know French. Force medicate estrogen. Yeah, that's perfect. Druids could probably do that. Nothing's stopping them. Other than cowardice. No way of putting this. I have a tadpole in my head. What other kinds are there? It's not like a frog hopped in my eye. Thank you. I guess I'll save my game. Which doesn't really do much because I'm in honor mode, but it's saved. If druids were familiar with a certain plant I have in my world, let's just say I literally do have a transplant in my world. It's pretty neat, because it has other effects as well. Don't you hate it when you kill a guy and all of a sudden a tadpole crawls out of his head? I'm hoping for a less grave cure. Thanks, I'll do anything. How did I pick it up? I was on a mind flayer ship. I was kidnapped and infected. I thought you could cure me. What about that branch of yours? I swear. The Starring disapproves. You must have learned something by studying them. That's because it's technically not for mind flayers. As I get farther through this game, you may notice how much I refuse to use the tadpole powers. I just refuse. Wyvern poison tastes like, it's sweet. And we are going to go, I guess, to Withers. Actually, there's one other person I want to go save real quick. And I've been streaming for a good chunk of time, so we might go raid out soon. After Withers, obviously. Are they still there? Wondering for how in the ever? Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna go save this one person. And 2 hours has been plenty of time for a stream, I think. Don't feed people to gnolls, it's bad for their health. Yeah. Oh, Snake Whisperer. I cast Bird. Oh. You know, I do forget how overpowered it is to have folk heroes at the beginning. Folk hero and soldier are probably the best starting backgrounds. Okay, yeah, the last person I need to help is up here. We'll see if I play this game on Tuesday or, whatchamacallit? Wrath of the Righteous. I need everyone to catch up. Look at the bugbear. Come on, it should have asked if I can... Wait a second. Deserved. Firebolt. My surprise round is over. Boring. What if I blast him off again? What if he makes like Team Rocket and blasts off again? Lots of fun, that's what. Let's get my soul coin and then raid out. I've been to Avernus. I am a no devil servant. A mind flayer ship abducted me. Not entirely, like, I want to learn Japanese. I learned a little bit of Polish, so I'll recognize a couple words. I know the word for fish in Greek, and so I can write it. And I know a little bit of French, but I don't really know that much. So I suppose let's find who should I raid. Exactly. There's a person streaming Dead by Daylight, but that's kinda... I could raid... I don't know. Do you have any suggestions? There are a couple people streaming Baldur's Gate. Let's see, there's this person there. Let's see. Yeah, we might as well raid them. They're new. Let's hope they're nice. You have until, yeah. Do you speak any other languages while this raid goes out? Uh, 10. Oh. That's very nice, actually. Well, I suppose Romanian's such a nice language. But I suppose I shall have to wish everyone the best of luck, and bye.